In full respect.
And when you get the same answer multiple times through different devices at the same location.
Okay, is there any specific evidence of that?
As to why this device would be able to communicate with the dead, or want of a better word. Nobody can explain it. It wasn't until I actually spoke to you, who'd also asked the same question, and you'd already found out the answer.
For over 21 years, I've delved into the world of paranormal investigation, always seeking proof of the afterlife. But there was one area I stayed skeptical about for the longest time: Instrumental Transcommunication, or ITC for short. I'm sharing how my skepticism gradually turned into fascination, and how the SP7 Spirit Box app, our own creation, has provided some of the clearest evidence yet that we can speak with those on the other side. Stick around and see the evidence for yourself.
Name the location? Bishop's been heard. Okay, thanks, Ryan.
Sweetheart Abbey, founded in 1273 by the devoted Lady Dervogilla. My name is RyanO'Neill, and I've been on YouTube for over a decade, sharing the results of my audio collection journey. I started out investigating the paranormal over 2 decades ago. Yet even with all my field experience, when I first heard about ITC apps and scanning devices, I was the biggest skeptic.
When you take that over 20 years, that's a lot of locations, a lot of different situations we've been in, a lot of different tools to use, a lot of changing minds about what works and what doesn't. Example, and you hit on it earlier, I've changed my mind, like you, so many times. I didn't think apps worked. I thought they were rubbish. I didn't think spirit boxes worked. I needed to experience, use the tool, see what data I got, and conduct that over a long period of time. And then I went, oh my goodness, I was so wrong. I was so skeptical and cynical. And you know what I was basing my skepticism and cynicism on? What other people were saying. Not on what I experienced, on what somebody who I deemed to be better than I had experienced and written about, who probably didn't even use it and maybe done the same as me.
I thought surely these apps are just random noise, right? But as I tested them, time and time again, I received responses that directly answered my questions. It caught me off guard.
Hello?
How could these devices provide such intelligent replies unless something, or someone, was genuinely responding? That question sent me down a rabbit hole of research and development, pushing me to create our own controlled sound banking app. I spent 10 plus years sharing these findings on YouTube, not to convince anyone, but simply to show what I've captured. This isn't a fleeting hobby for me, it's been countless hours of fieldwork, testing, debunking, and refining. And I'm so glad I kept an open mind, because what I uncovered changed how I see reality.
Fuck, mate.
Enter the SP7 Spirit Box app. Born after extensive study with earlier ITC software like Echovox. My main goal was to test if these apps truly worked, or if it was all false positives. Over the years I'd ask, are we sure these random phonemes aren't just illusions of speech? Could we remove any chances of embedded words? So I took the bold step of creating our own sound banks, recording and slicing thousands of phonemes, tiny snippets of speech from audiobooks and other sources, each less than half a second. This way any clear communication I got couldn't be chalked up to leftover words or phrases. And the results, they blew me away.
And can spirit talk via these devices? There's a debate out there about that. Can they do it? What have we picked out through our analysis? Because we analyse everything through Adobe Edition and see what we've got, and we've taken our time to go and listen back to what we've got, and Talk about being blown away.
So this is the test of the updated app.
Most of the web. Most of the web. No ear. No ear. There is you. There is you.
What's your name?
This is the first room and it works.
What's your name?
This is the first room and it works.
So I released an article to explain what happened here, and it was in regards to the mysterious capture and historic echoes of Holywood Abbey. And this, when I tested this today, it referenced Hollywood to me on it in part of a sentence, and I will share that and let you hear it. It was mind-blowing. Took the badge from Hollywood. This badge was taken from Hollywood's, and it's in the museum, and none of us knew anything about it. It was so good in its phrase. I can only liken it to, could you imagine a car scrapyard with all these different parts inside, and somehow a gust of wind comes through and blows all the pieces together to formulate a car. Sounds pretty impossible, doesn't it? Well, that's what happened.
I've had sessions that stunned Chris Fleming, a leading pioneer in ITC research. Even more rigorously, we put the SP7 to test with parapsychologist Evelyn Hollow on the show Spooked Ireland. She made sure there was no leading words, no chance of confirmation bias. We got 4 spot-on words, all relevant, with no prompting. That's not chance, that's communication. Naturally, there are critics who shout pareidolia or radio bleed without ever running control tests themselves. But from my experience and from these collaborations, it's clear we're tapping into something genuinely interactive. Now, some folks argue that devices like the Frank's box or the Panasonic DR60 are unreliable. They'll say there are always false positives, so it must all be fake. But let's be real. Any device can produce an occasional false positive. That doesn't discount the real evidence. It's like saying, because some photos are doctored, all photography is a lie.
It's your chance.
Frank's box, created by Frank Sumption, was a groundbreaking device that swept radio frequencies to create a noise matrix. Yes, it can pick up stray radio waves, but then you get repeated intelligent responses that defy probability. So brushing it off as pure coincidence starts sounding more ridiculous than considering the spirit hypothesis. The same goes for the infamous Panasonic DR60 recorder. Detractors say it's just a shoddy device picking up stray radio. Yeah, I've tested the DR60 in Faraday cages, in remote locations with zero signal, and still received Class A EVPs. Intelligent, coherent voices answering direct questions.
Okay, is there any spirit needed with us now? Okay, is there any spirit needed with us now? Are you happy that we're here tonight? Are you happy that we're here tonight?
Those who dismiss it typically haven't owned one, never tested it properly, or rely on second-hand opinions. I've witnessed mind-blowing moments. A Frank's box recorded in real time when the batteries were accidentally reversed, capturing Bless You, when we said we come in total respect. That's direct, in the moment acknowledgements, not random noise.
In full respect.
Keep asking you. Maybe there's things you want to tell us.
To To drive it home, I've used all these tools, Frank's Box, DR60 and the SP7 app, in varied environments. We've visited places when radio and Wi-Fi signals don't penetrate, yet still heard voices. We've asked questions that are too specific to be chance. This isn't me cherry-picking random faint whispers. I analyse hours of audio, cross-reference times, even invite skeptics to do their own analysis. During one of our investigations, we captured what can only be described as astonishing evidence. A child's voice calling out,
Can you give us your names then?
I encourage everyone out there to test these tools responsibly, under controlled conditions, and see if you get the same results. If you still walk away unconvinced, that's fine, but at least you've done the groundwork, instead of dismissing an entire field from the sidelines.
There is one thing I will never ever do, and you'll never ever hear me do. I will never discount another investigator, researcher, enthusiast, or member of public's evidence or techniques or methodologies. And what I mean by that is, I don't tell you this is the only way to do it, that I am the only way to do it, or the tools I use are the only tools that you can use. There is an abundance of tools, there is an abundance of methodologies, and no one, absolutely no one, has the only way to do it. No one is doing the only way that you could do paranormal in the world. There is many ways, and we all have pieces of the jigsaw. So do what you feel gets the results you need to get. Never be put off with those who you may deem to be more experienced, or maybe an expert, or anything like that. You do what you need to do, you intuitively do what you need to do, you gather the evidence, and don't be put off by the opinions of others, regardless if they've been doing this for 1 year, or they've been doing this for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. You can learn from people, and that is fantastic, but add your own flavour to it, and don't be scared to do something that's outside the box. There is no real way to do this. Anybody who ever tries to ridicule anything that you have in an evidence point of view, or tell you you're wrong or deluded or irrational, turn the other way, walk away, and just always remember that this is your reality, this is your evidence, this is your journey, and you're bringing something to the table.
Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you have a question or a story of your own. Until next time, stay curious, stay respectful, and keep seeking the truth.